Hi, my name is Tamara Coleman, and in today's video, we'll be talking about the steps to hemostasis, how blood vessels repair themselves, and what fibrinolysis actually is. Imagine getting a small cut on your skin. Have you ever wondered what stops the bleeding and what repairs the actual damage? It all comes down to a process called hemostasis, followed by blood vessel repair, and then by fibrinolysis. So let's break down what these things actually are. So hemostasis is the body's natural process in order to stop bleeding and prevent further bleeding after an injury occurs. As we can see, hemostasis has a total of 4 different steps. The first step is called vascular spasm. After an injury occurs, blood vessels constrict to prevent further blood loss. This happens immediately after an injury and lasts for a few minutes, giving the body a chance to start forming clots. Moving on to the second step, called platelet plug formation. Platelets then start to rush to the site of injury and start attaching to the exposed collagen on the blood vessel wall. They start releasing more chemicals that attract more platelets to the site of injury to keep forming this clot. Some of the chemicals that platelets release during the platelet plug would be ADP, thromboxane, serotonin, but the most important one is definitely ADP. This chemical activates platelets and makes them stick together. Doing this, they form a temporary platelet plug to seal the site of injury. Next, we move on to our third step, coagulation. During coagulation, it strengthens the platelet plug by forming a more stable clot. A more stable clot is accessed through a process where thrombone, a special enzyme, transforms fibrinogen into fibrin. Fibrin starts working like a web-like structure, not allowing red blood cells to escape the blood vessel, and it reinforces the clot. Now we know our 4 steps of hemostasis, but what happens after? Blood vessel repair. It doesn't just stop there. In this picture, we can actually perfectly see that once an injury is caused, blood flow will not remain the same due to the site of injury preventing the blood flow from flowing normally. So we need to find a solution in order for blood to start flowing normally as it would. Once the bleeding has stopped, the body starts repairing the blood vessel. But how does the body do this? A cell called fibroblast starts repairing the blood vessel wall, while endothelial cells start reproducing and going back to their original function. Fibroblasts can also contribute to vascular inflammation, but it's mostly used for blood vessel repair and stabilization. So we stop the bleeding, we repair the blood vessel wall. What comes next? Now we go into fibrinolysis. This process breaks down the clots that were formed during bleeding and during the blood vessel repair. After the blood vessel is healed, the blood clot is no longer needed. We have to find a way to get rid of it. That's when we produce a special enzyme called plasmin. Plasmin is produced by the liver and it is released into the bloodstream as an inactive form until needed. Plasmin starts digesting fibrin since the blood clot is no longer needed. By doing so, the body's blood flow can resume normally. The broken down fibrin fragments are called FDPs. FDPs have anticoagulant effects, fibrin degradation products, and this can cause bleeding signs. Hemostasis is such an essential process for our body that keeps us from losing blood, even from the smallest injuries. In some cases, the processes that control hemostasis can actually malfunction, which can cause either serious bleeding or bad clotting problems. There's rare cases where people inherit a disorder called hemophilia, which is actually inadequate clogging, excessive bleeding, easily bruised, and this is all a consequence of not having the proper factors during hemostasis. Hemophilia can even lead to death if the blood is not properly stopped. And that sums up the steps of hemostasis, blood vessel repair, and what fibrinolysis is.